The United States, Russia, and China all tested new super-fast hypersonic munitions in 2018, escalating a global competition for weaponry that can strike farther and harder than ever before, and potentially defeat existing defenses. The Russian and Chinese hypersonics tests were the most dramatic. But the much quieter American trial pointed toward a much more immediate and widespread transformation of military capabilities than the Russians or Chinese are likely to achieve. The world's armies have long eyed faster munitions, especially faster munitions that also are maneuverable. Swifter, nimbler rockets could strike with less warning and evade missile defense systems. Speedier, more streamlined artillery shells could travel farther and impact with greater destructive force. Most experts agree. If a weapon can travel at least 5 times the speed of sound, it's hypersonic. Although some say the munition must be maneuverable, too, to be effective. In late December, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that the Kremlin had tested the new Avangard hypersonic rocket. But as a delivery system for nuclear warheads, Avangard doesn't actually enhance Russia's military arsenal. That's because Russia's ICBMs already possess the range to strike targets all over the world, and the speed to evade all but the luckiest shot by American missile defenses. Indeed, ICBMs in the terminal phase of their flight already are hypersonic. Avangard flies lower in the atmosphere than an ICBM, does and might be faster than an ICBM is in early phases of flight. The practical differences end there. It's China, not Russia, that's making what seem the biggest strides toward fielding a non-nuclear hypersonic weapon. But even China's new weapon is less fearsome than it might appear to be. Ironically, its own sophistication holds it back. Around the same time Putin announced the results of the Avangard test, Chinese warship, sailing the open ocean while armed with an electromagnetic railgun that could be capable of firing shells at hypersonic velocity. A railgun propels its projectiles by way of magnetic force, as opposed to explosive powder charges that conventional guns use. China's railgun first appeared in January 2018, a large cannon was visible on Haiyangshan's forward deck. In March, Chinese state media confirmed the cannon was an experimental railgun. In December, the gun had undergone at-sea tests, making it the first such weapon to do so. Pentagon officials in early January leaked news of the U.S. Navy's own hypersonics test, this one involving a Navy warship firing hypersonic shells during a summer 2018 wargame near Hawaii. The Pentagon's Secretive Strategic Capabilities Office helped to oversee the trial. In the test, the destroyer, USS Dewey, fired 20 of the hypervelocity projectiles from its standard, 5-inch diameter gunpowder cannon, officials told the website of the U.S. Naval Institute. The new projectile is more aerodynamic than old-style shells, and features tiny fins and a radar guidance system that helps it to hone in on a target at speeds as fast as 7 times the speed of sound. That's roughly 3 times the velocity a normal naval shell can achieve. Far-flying and accurate, the shells in theory can target ships, ground targets, aircraft, and even incoming missiles. At first glance, the American test might appear to be the least remarkable of the 3 countries' 2018 hypersonics trials. It didn't involve a new gun or missile, just a new super aerodynamic shell. The shell is non-nuclear. But the U.S. test, arguably, is the most likely to result in the widespread deployment of a truly transformational new weapon. And it underlines the Pentagon's advantage over the Russian and Chinese militaries in the hypersonics race. While Russia, China and the United States all are developing a wide array of new hypersonic weapons, it's telling which systems each country has prioritized. Russia has focused on seemingly impressive, but marginally useful hypersonic weapons, that make for good PR, but don't actually shift the balance of power. China, for its part, has chosen to tinker with very advanced high technology that might prove impractical. America, meanwhile, has focused on less sophisticated weapons. It's reasonably certain it can deploy quickly and widely, while deferring development of more ambitious munitions designs until the technology is more mature. Usefulness and scalability are the American weapons' major advantages over the Russian and Chinese weapons. Russia and China, with their showy demonstrations and bespoke technology, might appear to have pulled ahead in the early laps of the race for hypersonic weapons. But the United States, with its emphasis on a weapon that it can deploy quickly and actually use in a non-nuclear war, ultimately could gain the military advantage.